touch me. Leave these others and come to me. I am hungry for you, my darling. Kiss me and caress me. My darling husband, please.
Holy blood! We're strong in the Lord! The power of his might! We're strong in the Lord!
How do you do? I'm Christopher Lee. This is the Order of Transylvania, presented to me personally some years ago by Count Dracula. He had a small assignment for me, but unfortunately I wasn't quite able to get my teeth into it. However, since we are going to Transylvania, I've taken certain precautions. This garlic acts as a barrier against vampires. This stake has to be driven through a vampire's heart to keep him in his place. A vampire is generally buried at a crossroads, so in case he returns, he won't know which road to follow. That gives you one chance out of 4. In Tolstoy's story, one of the vampires is a woman, although she's certainly not a lady.
May I have the pleasure of seeing you again? I promise devotion the rest of my life if you'll say yes.
Perhaps I should hide my feelings for you. But from the first moment I laid eyes on you, I knew you were special.
Miss Dashka.
No, you mustn't say anything.
You're such a lovely couple.
If you don't mind my speaking, sir, I have a small but pertinent observation. I'm afraid you're burning up.
Who is that?
I remember you as a boy whose pants kept falling down. Couldn't figure out how to keep them up.
Grandmother.
It's the truth, I tell you. Your grandfather and my dear late husband were just like brothers. Dashka, you're so rude. They were inseparable companions. It pleases me to have you renew our family friendship again.
I thank you, madam. Excuse me, sir.
Disgraceful.
Pardon me, but I don't think we've met.
It's not important, sir. You're in mortal danger, do you hear?
Excuse me, but what do you mean?
I'll answer that if you tell me why a ghost should be cavorting in the ballroom.
Oh, come now.
You see that old hag?
Yes, that's the brigadier's widow. My grandfather...
She was the widow Sigurobina, but that was some time ago. Do you understand, young man? She is dead. She's a vampire who wants your blood.
You've had too much champagne.
Of course, it sounds absurd, but I watched them bury the woman. You see how attentive she is to her granddaughter? Oh, look at her. She's inviting her to spend the summer with her. If she goes, she'll be murdered within 3 days. What a shame.
I hope you'll forgive me, but I have to go.
Young man, you would do well to listen to me. That is, if you wish to avoid my experience.
Do you mean to tell me you're a vampire?
No, I got away from her. As you will escape from her. I hope. There, you see him? What a colossal nerve.
Is he another vampire?
Yes, young man. He was High Counselor Chilayov. He died 2 weeks before her. What impudence. To parade themselves in front of people who might remember them.
That's very interesting, but you must have some special method of, well, I mean, how does one separate the ghosts from the guests?
It's simple, actually. Watch the counselor closely. There, you see? That noise he makes, as if he was sucking an orange. You see, that's very important to a vampire. It's their own way of greeting each other.
Oh, really? Well, now I'll be able to recognize them, won't I? This has been very interesting. Now, excuse me, please.
Wait. Meet me in the cemetery tomorrow, and you'll see that I'll prove it to you at noon tomorrow.
I'll be there, punctually.
Well, now, young man, sit down and listen to me. I'm going to draw you into a conspiracy.
I am at your service.
I find it absolutely impossible to persuade this child to visit her grandmother. You must use your influence.
Grandmother, I'm not deaf, you know.
Eavesdropping is not polite, my sweet. And listen to your granny. So I'm expecting you to be there. You won't refuse me, will you?
How could I refuse you?
Uh-huh. And I just don't care if you never come. Grandmother. Grandmother, indeed. Are you sure I'm your granny? And how is it you never come to see me, then? Why must you be so selfish? Terribly selfish.
Remember what I said. The cemetery of the Orthodox Church. I'll be waiting.
Ribarenko.
Read it.
Chilayov. This graveyard must be full of Chilayovs.
Oh? Follow me.
Sukropina.
Neighbors in life, neighbors in death. They say that I'm out of my mind. Well, I'm not, you know. Listen to me now. I implore you, my friend. Stop seeing Dashka, or you'll soon be dead.
I'd rather be dead.
Disaster, a disaster, sir. At least promise me that you won't go to visit Sugrobina. I told them at the funeral they must drive a wooden stake in. It must be driven right through the middle of them.
Mr. Ribarenko, you almost had me fooled.
My dear Runevsky, you are a tiger. You propose today? Getting married next week? My goodness.
My dear lady, when a man is in love...
All right. Have it your own way. Tomorrow we'll announce the engagement and send for my solicitor. I want to make some changes in my will. I'm leaving everything to you.
Grandmother, stop talking about death.
You must not be in such haste, my dear friend, because the other world is boring and you'll miss this one.
You're fortunate, young man, my friend, very fortunate. In my day, a young man would have to court a woman a couple of years.
And if they wanted to be alone for a minute or two, the schemes they had to come up with, it was incredible, although love found a way.
A young woman stayed safely in the country. Didn't spend every night traipsing through town. They used to read fortunes to see whether they'd have a good marriage. Women in those days were rather modest.
Yes, I'd like to read a fortune. Can you read cards, my dear?
I'm afraid not, Dashka, darling.
Let's read our fortunes out of a book, all right?
Is it poetry?
Yes. I'll choose a page without looking, and you tell me what line I should read for my fortune, and that'll be it.
All right, I picked line 7, top left.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
your book of poetry. Read your poem.
As the dark bird of night shrieks in his cave, then grandmother feeds from the blood of her slave.
Disgusting filth. Disgusting rubbish. It's awful. Abominable rot. Where did you find such putrid filth, anyway?
Grandmother, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. It fell from my dresser, you see, this morning when the servants were cleaning my room.
It must be it's like an allegory, like a fantasy in poetry, that's all.
A nice fantasy indeed. Well, it's a nice bedtime story for an old woman, isn't it? I could die just from thinking about it. Stefan, bring the tea, please.
The green room. As if there were no other room.
Did you say something?
Nothing, master. They say green, green it is. I just do what I'm told.
Whose room is it?
It belongs to Praskovia. May she rest in peace.
And why is it green?
She had a passion about it. She had flaming red hair. And green must have every color. It looked lovely on her. So before the wedding, she had the room done in green. She was very happy here. Now she sits by a mirror and sighs. Good night, sir.
What are you doing here?
The servants aren't asleep.
What?
Listen to me, young man, while there's still some time left.
It's too late. I just proposed to Dashka today.
Then from this moment, I must tell you that the two of you are in the greatest peril. You must get away from here this minute, right now.
I think you had better get away, Mr. Ribarenko.
Perhaps you think it's a maniac's fantasy. This woman here, this woman could have made me the happiest man who ever lived, sir. But before it could happen, they sucked her blood.
Look, I know how deeply you loved her. But despair is a bad judge, my friend. You need rest. You better go now.
No, I must stay. I must convince you that I'm no madman and that I speak the truth. Tomorrow will be too late. It is too late already. They want your blood. They live on it. Oh, they're coming. Now, do you see?
May I ask?
Sorry to bother you. I thought maybe you needed something to help you sleep better.
Sleep indeed, you satanic lying witch. You wanted one thing, to creep into his room and make sure he's asleep so you can do your dirty work and claim one more victim.
What are you saying? What victim?
You know what victim. Your granddaughter. It's her blood you crave, you fiend from hell. But you won't find it as easy as you did with poor Praskovia. I'll see to that, you witch. I'll kill you.
Stefan, please get the horses. I want you to take Mr. Ribarenko home at once.
You don't believe me, do you? Why don't you believe me?
I'm terribly sorry about this. I'll take you to your room.
No, thank you. No, my dear, I can manage.
Dashka? What's wrong?
You mustn't ask me, my dearest, or I'll be forced to leave you.
No, don't go.
Time is short, I fear. You must listen and do everything I say. Promise me.
I'll do anything you say.
Take this. This dagger, dearest. It's sacred. This dagger protects a person from vampires. Just remember that. The sharpest swords cannot cut their flesh. Listen, you must aim for their shadow. You must stab them through their hearts only.
What do you mean, my sweet?
Gᴏᴛغɪᴄ and Chalayov. You were saying you wanted to see me this evening. Well, here I am. Tell me if you think I'm prettier than the portrait there. Approaches.
Dashka.
Gᴏᴛغɪᴄ and Chalayov, beware of them.
Oh. I seem to be caught up in my sheet. I've been dreaming of my wedding feast.
Can I start now? I've waited so long. Say that I can start.
Now, aim at his shadow. Dashka! Save Dashka!
Dashka! Dashka! Oh, it's you. You surprised me.
You look very tired, dearest.
Oh, I have a headache.
Must have been the wine, sweetheart. Chalaev kept filling your glass all the evening.
Yes, but it was good. I hope you're not upset, darling.
Grandmother is going to come any minute.
And Mr. Chalaev?
Mr. Chalaev has probably gone home.
Chalaev gone?
Yes, but he asked me to be sure to say goodbye.
Why are you wearing that black band?
Why doesn't it suit me then?
It's very pretty, but what's wrong with your neck? Well?
Grandmother's here.
I hope you slept all right. It's a new bed, you see. Good morning, Dashka. Please be seated, won't you?
Sit down, dear.
I asked you if you slept all right. I hope so.
Not too badly.
Yes, but he has a bad hangover. Better have Stefan air out his room a bit, I think.
Bruises and hangovers are excuses to loaf, dear, and that's a luxury, isn't it? Huh? Today is a busy day. The solicitor is coming, and then the dressmaker. And in the evening, we have quite a lot of guests, 20 from the neighborhood, and also Moscow, some of them. Why don't you eat something, dear? Huh? Dashka, make your fiancé eat.
That's all I wanted to see.
Stefan! Get me my horse and carriage!
But how dare you hurt poor grandmother? It's not enough that she was stabbed by a maniac. Now you come and open up the wound again. You'd better apologize.
Dashka. Stefan, what did she mean by that? Who wounded her grandmother?
Don't you know?
No, of course I don't.
The madman, sir. He had a butcher's knife.
But who?
Ribarenko. He stabbed the coach driver as well. We were rather upset about it.
She'll never forgive me. Stefan, please ask Miss Dashka if I may speak to her and say I beg for her forgiveness.
Ribarenko.
Stefan!
Of course, we all know there's no such thing as a vampire. Is there?